Zamfara has vaccinated 1.9 million children against polio. Doctors charged with destroying patient kidney to learn feet. Federal government, state and local government shared 647.34 billion naira from January. Of business, FIRS targets 17% tax to GDP ratio by 2023. On sport, Atlanta defeat Balenga in the Champions League. And on the international scene, 2 passengers from Japan cruise ship died of coronavirus. Welcome to Standard Voice Television News. My name is Samira Ibrahim. Now on the news in full. Zamfara state government has vaccinated 1.9 million children that are under 5 years as part of the 2021 phase of immunization plus this campaign in the state. The immunization campaign started on 15th and ended on 18th of February as there were no reports of wild polio virus WPV in the state since June 2020, says officials. The campaign, which was led by the state deputy governor, Barrister Mahadi Ali Yugusau, was flagged up in Mayanchi district of Maru local government area of the state. Speaking while flagging of the exercise, Barrister Mahadi Aliyu, who is also the chairman State Task Force Committee on Polio Eradication, said the present administration will commit sufficient human and material resources required to further motivate state and local council staff and the communities to end polio. The deputy governor said the state was focusing on the people living in rural areas and the vulnerable population with emphasis on children from birth to 11 months of age in collaboration with partners to ensure they are reached. The Commissioner for Health, Alhaji Yahya Muhammad Kanoma, said the state was prepared to receive the African Regional Certification Committee on behalf of the Northwestern Zone, signifying the total interruption of polio virus. He enjoined the local government council chairmen, traditional rulers, religious leaders, caregivers and various unions to lend their support to the final onslaught against polio. In his message, Maru Local Government Council Chairman Alhaji Salihu Isa Dangulbi said his council had made adequate arrangements to ensure that every child was immunized during the campaign. A tribunal set up by the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria in Abuja will on Thursday rule a case involving 2 medical doctors who are alleged to have destroyed the kidney of a patient, Sharifat Shehu, in Kano State. The 2 doctors are among the 19 medical doctors facing the tribunal over negligence and infamous conduct leading to the death or permanent injury of their patients. In the charge sheet read to the tribunal by the registrar of the council, Dr. Tajuddin Sanusi, Dr. Mohammed Zakari and Dr. Agu Chukwuka were alleged to have committed the offense at the Premier Clinic, Kano in 2010, thereby committing an offense contrary to the rules of the Code of Medical Ethics of Nigeria, 2008 edition, and punishable under the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act, Cap M8, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, as amended. The doctors were separately charged by the prosecution counsel, Sanusi Musa. While Zakari is facing 3 counts, Chukwuka is being tried on 1 count. The charge sheet alleged that Zakari was grossly negligent in the management of the patients under his care when he failed to do all that was medically necessary for her care, leading to the loss of her kidney. The registrar explained that Dr. Mohammed Zakari, registered medical practitioner practicing as a consultant, obstetrician and gynecologist between July 22, 2013 and July 15, 2015, or thereabout at the Premier Clinic, Kano, neglected to respond to the request of the Medical and Dental Investigation Panel and by the said fact conducted himself infamously contrary to the Rule 28 IG of the Code of Medical Ethics in Nigeria, 2008 edition, and punishable under Section 16, subsection 1A and subsection 2 of the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act, Cap M8 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004 as amended. When the case was first mentioned at the tribunal on Monday, the two doctors pleaded not guilty, while Dr. Zakari said he had earlier submitted a 14-page document in response to the allegation that he neglected the request of the counsel. Defense counsel Taralumi Azum also contested the 3 counts preferred against Zakari, saying that it was different from the one he was served with. The Sokoto state government has announced plans to utilize the loan of 65.7 billion naira it will raise to embark on massive infrastructural projects and investment in critical projects in agriculture, health, housing, urban renewal projects, construction of roads and bridges, as well as education. Unveiling the economic development plan at the management retreat of Sokoto State Ministry of Finance held at the weekend in Lagos, Commissioner for Finance Alhaji Abdulsamad Dasuki said this will be achieved through a multifaceted approach. Alhaji Dasuki said the state government was embarking on the massive infrastructure development to make Sokoto an investment destination. The commissioner said the proposed 65.7 billion naira loan earmarked for critical projects in agriculture, health, housing, water resources and education will fast-track the economic transformation of the state and position Sokoto as a leading economy in Nigeria and Africa. He explained that the central objectives of Governor Tambuwal's administration are human capital development, remodeling of the state into an investment destination, and establishment of enduring socio-economic infrastructure and institutions. The commissioner stated that these efforts of the government were already yielding fruits. He said their efforts to transform the economy by making the environment private sector driven are already yielding many fruits, among which include the attraction of the biggest fertilizer blending company in the world to Sokoto and the biggest rice mill by Aliko Dangote. Alhaji Dasuki noted that they are advertising the ease of doing business in the state by making it easier for established business to scale and enabling new ones to spring up. According to him, this will in turn translate to empowering families in the state, and the effects will trickle down to everyone. He said the administration had witnessed rapid growth of business enterprises as more organizations now have the capacity to meet more market needs, resulting in increased revenue and a more prosperous economy. Alhaji Dasuki also said that Governor Tambuwal administration had reformed the payroll systems, which had removed cost workers and helped Sokoto to implement the new minimum wage of 30,000 naira for workers in the civil service. The Judicial Commission of Inquiry of Missing Persons in Kano 2010 to 2019 has submitted a report to the Kano State Governor Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje recommending for the charging and prosecuting some suspected kidnappers in the state who were identified in the course of the Commission's work. Addressing the Governor at the Council chamber during State Executive Council meeting, the Chairman of the Commission, Justice Wada Umar Ranu, reveals that they were able to also recover other 3 kids who were kidnapped and taken to Lagos State in January this year and were since been reunited with their families. He disclosed that they were able to, through various testimonies of the witnesses, unearth the activities of notorious and suspected kidnappers Amina Gaya with her accomplice. Justice Rano reiterated that the issue was not that of one child or 9 children. As it started, neither was it between one section of the country and another. It is an issue between good people and criminals. The chairman said when given the assignment, they earlier thought it was an issue of only 9 children, but they realized that it goes beyond that. He stated that while doing that, they wanted to get to the genesis of the problem, and they were able to unearth other hidden things attached to this. Mr. Justice Rano commended Governor Ganduje, saying that by this unique initiative, he had created a niche for himself. He said they received 186 witnesses and 99 memoranda, and their recommendations will help in avoiding the reoccurrence of this unfortunate incident in the future. He relayed the message of all the recovered persons to the governor, whom the chairman of the commission said they asked the commission to thank the governor on their behalf. In his response, Governor Ganduje explained that the problem was between people in Kano, not Hausa tribe exclusively, but for all the people that are staying in Kano versus criminals. It was that thinking that led us to think of insinuating this commission of inquiry, so whoever thinks the move is between Kano and other tribes does not get the matter correctly. The governor explained that the administration is drawing a line between humanity and criminality. He expressed his happiness with the outcome of the commission's work, emphasizing that such kind of efforts are greatly helping the government to secure the people in Kano, irrespective of their religious or tribal affiliations. He said it is evidently clear that the issue of security does not need noise but action. Governor Ganduje hinted that the commission will continue to exist so as to assist in the implementation of the recommendations suggested by the commission. It will also serve as an avenue that will continue to dig out missing children, persons in the state, irrespective of religion or tribe. Nigeria's federal, state and local government on Wednesday shared a total of 647.35 billion naira for the month of January as the Federation Account Allocation Committee FAC meeting ended in Lagos. The news agency of Nigeria, NAN, reports that the 647.35 billion naira shared is 9.63% lower than the 716.29 billion naira shared in December 2019. Mahmoud Isa Dutse, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, made the announcement while briefing journalists after the meeting. He said the reduction in the allocation was due to what was provided by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) and the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) for the month. Mr. Isa Dutse said the FIRS had explained that the shortfall of revenue was due to the reduction in economic activities, which usually occurs in January, adding that revenue generation will improve as the month goes by. He said the 647.35 billion naira comprised statutory revenue, value-added tax, exchange gain, non-oil revenue, and excess bank charges recovered. The Permanent Secretary said as at February 19th, the balance in the Access Credit Account ECA was $71.81 million. Mr. Isa Dutse said the gross statutory revenue for the month of January 2020 was 525.25 billion naira, saying that this is lower than the 600.31 billion naira received in the previous month by 75.06 billion naira. For the month of January 2020, the gross revenue available from the value-added tax VAT was 104.75 billion naira as against 114.80 billion naira in the previous month, resulting in the decrease of 10.04 billion naira. Exchange gain yielded a total revenue of 1.04 billion naira, while the non-oil revenue was 16.29 billion naira. He said from the 647.35 billion naira, the federal government got 267.38 billion naira. The state government received 176.92 billion naira, and the local government councils received 132.94 billion naira. Mr. Isa Dutse said the oil-producing states received 46.19 billion naira as 13% derivation revenue, and the revenue-generating agencies received 23.90 billion naira as cost of revenue collection. According to a communique released by FAC, A breakdown of the distribution showing that from the gross statutory revenue of 525.25 billion naira, the federal government received 243.70 billion. The state government received 123.61 billion naira, and the local government councils received 95.29 billion naira. From the value-added tax VAT revenue of 104.75 billion naira, the federal government received 14.61 billion naira, and the state government received 48.71 billion naira. The local government councils received 34.09 billion naira, and the revenue generating agencies received 7.33 billion naira as cost of revenue collection. From the exchange gain revenue of 1.044 billion naira, the federal government received 0.48 billion naira. The state government received 0.24 billion naira. The local government councils got 0.19 billion naira, and the oil producing states got 0.12 billion naira as 13% derivation revenue. From the non-oil revenue of 16.29 billion naira, the federal government got 8.58 billion naira. The state government got 4.35 billion naira, and local government councils got 3.35 billion naira, respectively. Ahmed Idris, Accountant General of the Federation, says state and local government council will receive additional funds from February following the implementation of the 7.5 increase in value-added tax VAT. Mr. Idris made the assertion on Wednesday while speaking with newsmen at the sideline of the Federation Account Allocation Committee FAC 2020 retreat in Lagos. News Agency of Nigeria reports that the theme of the retreat is efficient federation revenue allocation as a nexus for national economic diversification. He said the people will see the impact of VAT increase from next month because efficiently it took off on February 1st, and the state and local government will definitely get bigger figures in terms of VAT allocation. The federal government has 15%, state governments have 50%, and the local governments have 35%. He said all this will be reflected in the succeeding months and believe as from next month they will see the impact of the increment of the VAT in the federation revenue. Mr. Idris said that the federal government remained committed to increasing the contribution of the non-oil sector to the nation's revenue base. According to him, states are also being encouraged to tap into the vast potential that abounds in their respective areas to increase their internally generated revenue, IGR. He said that the retreat afforded state finance commissioners and accountant generals the opportunity to deepen their knowledge on budget implementation and revenue generation. He said each state has its own peculiars and resources, and what needs to be done is for each state to harness its own resources. The key ways to achieve this growth in revenue have been given at the retreat. Mr. Idris advised the states to go back and see the potential that are there and apply some of these keys and new ideas imparted during the paper presentation to increase their IGR. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, has constituted a team of staff to proceed on the first official assignment to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to make necessary accommodation and feeding arrangements ahead of 2020 Hajj exercise. A statement signed by the NAHCON's head of public affairs, Fatima Sanda Usara, said the team was inaugurated on Wednesday by the chairman, CEO of the commission, Zikirullah Kulli Hassan. According to the statement, the chairman enjoined members to examine all prospects of ensuring that Hajj fare goes down this year and hopefully goes further down next year. He emphasized that dedication is instrumental in addressing the issue of Hajj fare reduction, a promise he made during screening of board and one he is determined to keep. While calling on the members to carry out this assignment without compromising quality or standard of neither accommodation nor feeding, the chairman therefore urged them to focus on getting good houses for the pilgrims and insist on decent meals from caterers. In his address to the team, Commissioner Operations Abdullahi Hardawa assured the chairman of all members' commitment to meet expectations of the CEO and other Muslims to see that Hajj fare is reduced. He also tasked members of the pre-Hajj team to make good bargains that will enable pilgrims to embark on Hajj with relative ease and get value of their money. The statement noted that the team, which will be led by Chairman Zikrullah, has the 3 permanent commissioners among the delegation, senior management staff, staff from relevant departments, and pharmacist Zainab Ujudud Sharif on the list. Pharmacist Sharif will inspect likely locations to site Nigerian clinics, as well as ascertain that all conditions set by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for setting up clinics by participating countries are met. The police have announced the arrest of a suspect in the murder of the state house official who was murdered on Monday. Letitia Dagan was at home at about 11 p.m. when assailant breached her residence and took her life. She was an assistant director handling administrative matters at the presidential villa before she was killed. Her death sent immediate ripples through the country's intensifying fears about the nation's worsening insecurity under President Muhammadu Buhari. The police on Wednesday afternoon said they have taken Edivrin Ohanri, a man whose age was not immediately disclosed, into custody in Abuja, being accused of playing a role in Mrs. Dagan's death, with other suspects still at large. The police said Mr. Ohanri has been cooperating with homicide detectives to unravel the motive for the attack and track down fleeing alleged conspirators. It was unclear where Mr. Ohanri was arrested and whether he had contacted a lawyer as of Wednesday evening. We'll be right back after this short commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. On business, over to Aguirita.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Welcome to Business Desk. The Federal Inland Revenue Service has said that it will raise Nigeria tax ratio to gross domestic production ratio from the current 6% to 17% by 2023. The FIRS Executive Chairman, Mohammed Nami, said this during a meeting in Lagos State. A statement from the FIRS stated that the objective of the meeting was to sensitize Lagos traders and market unions on the 2019 Finance Act. Over 100 officials of Traders Association and Union attended the meeting. He listed the benefits of the new Finance Act to include reduction of the company income tax from 30% to 20%. Mr. Nami urged the entrepreneurs to register their businesses officially rather than operate informally in order to access the benefits from the Act. He urged the traders to separate their personal finances from their business capital in order not to lose their working capital to state tax bodies. The FIRS stated that doing so could help their businesses to grow as they pay less tax. He urged the traders to endeavor to charge value-added tax on applicable goods and services, especially consumption, and remit it to the FIRS promptly. Mr. Nami also disclosed that more FIRS tax could be opened in markets nationwide to bring the service nearer to traders and make tax compliances easier for them. He said the FIRS, under his watch, could reposition its corporate social responsibility activities to benefit the informal sector, including markets, in order to create a conducive business environment for them. And that is all on business news. I'm Aguirita.
On spot, over to Sofian.
Hello, welcome to Standard Voice Television Sports Room. I'm Abu Svtv Abakar, and as usual, I bring the sports updates. Atlanta's Fairy Tale Champions League debut campaign looks set to continue into the quarterfinals after they trumped over Valencia to take a commanding lead into the second leg of the last of 16 tie. Hans Hatebo with 2 goals, Josep Ilicic with 1 goal, and a wonder strike from Remiro Ferla saw of the 2-time finalists, who were shell-shocked by the pace of their opponents in attack and their incisiveness. There's surely no way back for Alberto Cidade's Spanish side. It has already been a wonderful few months for Gian Piero Gasperini's side, who finished third in Serie A last season to earn their spot into the competition and then qualified for the knockout stage despite losing their opening 3 games this season. Their home Champions League matches have been played at Milan's San Siro because their Guesivi Stadium in Bergamo, which is 55 kilometers away, does not meet UEFA's requirement. But once again, their devoted fans made the iconic stadium their own on Wednesday. The reported 40,000 who travelled from Bergamo should have been celebrating their opener in 8 minutes when Mario Pasalic played a 1-2 with Josef Ilicic, but then saw his shot pushed over the bar by keeper Juanme Domenech. However, the last line of defence was beaten soon after when Dutchman Hatebo converted Papu Gomez's ball from close range. It was 2-0 just before the break, courtesy to a fierce drive from Ilicic. The Slovenian has now scored 16 goals in all competitions this season for Atlanta. Ferla then produced what was arguably the goal of the night with a stunning curling strike pass reach of Domenech before the spiritly Hatebo added a fourth when he galloped into the area from the right and drove a low shot into the far corner. With a 4-0 advantage, Atlanta's concentration dipped. Jose Luis Palomino's back pass should have found a teammate but was instead picked up by substitute Denis Cheryshev, who struck a low shot to reduce the deficit. The second leg of the game is expected to be played on Tuesday, 10th of March. Also in the other UEFA Champions League game played on Wednesday, Tottenham lost at home to Timo Werner Leipzig after Timo Werner scored the only goal in the game. And in the lone Premier League game played on Wednesday, Manchester City defeated West Ham 2-0 to reduce the point deficit owned by Liverpool to 23. And that's all we have on sports today. Back to the newsroom.
And on the international scene.
Audio Jungle.
Two elderly former passengers from the coronavirus wrecked Diamond Princess that Thursday, Japanese authorities said, as fears mount for those who have left the ship after testing negative for the virus. The man and woman, both Japanese and in their 80s, were taken the cruise ship last week and died in hospital. The first fatalities among the more than 600 passengers and crew who have tested positive for the virus. The man had a pre-existing condition of bronchial asthma and a history of angina treatment, the health ministry said in a statement, but the woman had no known pre-existing conditions. The direct cause of her death was pneumonia. The health minister, Kato, prayed for their souls and offered condolences to their bereaved families. He said the two were sent to medical facilities when they showed symptoms and believed that they received the best possible treatment. The huge vessel moored in Yokohama, near Tokyo, is easily the biggest coronavirus cluster outside the Chinese epicenter, with 621 positive cases confirmed among the passengers and crew. On Wednesday, 443 passengers disembarked after testing negative for the COVID-19 virus and not showing symptoms during a 19-day quarantine period. The removal of all passengers was expected to take at least 3 days. More passengers left the ship Thursday, packing into yellow buses and leaving for stations and airports to head home. But questions are increasingly being asked to us why former Diamond Princess passengers are able to roam freely around Japan's famously crowded cities, even if they have been tested negative. A paper quoted one passenger who said he was tested on February 15th, but only left 4 days later. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Zamfara has vaccinated 1.9 million children against polio. Doctors charged with destroying patient kidney to learn fit. federal government, state and local government shared 647.35 billion naira for January. On business, FIRS targets 17% tax to GDP ratio by 2023. On sport, Atlanta defeats Valencia in the Champions League. And on the international scene, 2 passengers from Japan cruise ship died of coronavirus. That's the news. On behalf of the production crew, head of news and current affairs, Ibrahim Garabatuna, I am Samir Ibrahim, wishing you a pleasant time. Keep watching Standard Television News. Goodbye.